Well, you're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, the Iola School District is awarded a federal grant that will allow them to upgrade their district school buses. Also, students in Fredonia are giving an opportunity to see into the past to what life was like back in the good old days.
And we are still tracking the Hurricane Helene as it moves up the eastern states and closer to the 4 states region.
The 4 states most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I am Lindsay Gaffney. 7 o'clock on this Friday morning. Now, to most of everybody, it's Friday. It's the last day of the work week. To me, it's the middle of my work week. I don't get my weekend until next week, but that's okay. I'm super happy to be here. It's been a fun morning.
Well, we're happy to have you. Fridays are always fun here. And you know what? It was a fun day yesterday in the school district of Iola. The EPA gave out almost $700,000 USD to 57 school districts in Iola.
KOAM's Anthony Saviello shares why the school district is trying to be more green.
It's a great day to be in Mustang country.
A great day because the Iola School District says they have some great news.
This school year, we will introduce 2 EV buses into our regular bus routes.
As part of the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the EPA has been able to grant money for school districts across the country to purchase electric zero-emission school buses. Superintendent Stacy Fager says the chance to add 2 EV buses to the school district fleet will set a standard for the surrounding area.
None of our entities right now on local governments have implemented EV type of vehicles, but this wasn't kind of what we felt is an opportunity to be someone to start that process, especially with the EPA investing so heavily with school districts to try to get them implemented.
Iola is one of almost 100 schools in the 4-state area to take advantage of the grants given by the EPA.
These clean school buses, electric vehicle technology, reduces greenhouse gas emissions and protects children and the environment by protecting the school bus drivers, certainly the children, school staff, and the communities through which the school buses drive through from harmful diesel emissions.
Before too long, students at USD 257 will have 2 brand new buses to call their own.
We're looking forward to how these are implemented in the district.
In Iola, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, the grant will also pay for the chargers for the buses.
The school district hopes to have these buses on the road this coming January. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I love going green.
Great to see.
Keeping the environment in mind.
Great to see. And I'm sure, people always like new cars, new buses. So I'm sure it's going to be exciting for the students as well.
Definitely. You know what else is exciting? The cloudy skies. We've got mostly cloudy skies. We're going to go ahead and take a look outside. Mostly cloudy skies due to Hurricane Helene. Unfortunately, we're not getting any of those rain showers, but we are tracking the hurricane. And it is a very damaging storm. Already dropped quite a few tornadoes along the eastern states and a lot of rainfall, some flooding as well. Now, we are not getting any remotely close to the damage that the eastern states are getting, but the hurricane is moving closer, so we're getting those overcast conditions pushing into most of our states. Now, by early in the morning, by about 10 a.m., most of us are going to be completely covered in clouds. You can see even in Joplin, overcast skies completely, temperatures in the mid-50s, and we've got a light northerly breeze, but later we get into the day, the stronger the winds are going to be. So if you're planning your morning, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 60s by 10 a.m. and mostly cloudy, if not completely overcast. Now we continue the overcast conditions through most of the day today and through tomorrow as well. Most of the weekend actually is going to be pretty cloudy, but unfortunately not a lot of rain chances, but we'll take a look at that coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon, Lindsay. Thanks. Well, Joplin police are investigating what happened during Wednesday night's fatal SUV motorcycle crash. Now, the crash occurred at 44th and Main. Now, authorities closed the area for about 4 hours. According to the JPD, a north to westbound SUV collided with a southbound motorcycle. A female passenger on the motorcycle died at the scene. The 40-year-old male driver was rushed to an area hospital with serious injuries. Authorities have not yet released the names. Authorities yesterday responded to reports of a car crashing into a building on the 100 block of Joplin's Main Street. Now, that building is apparently a private club. Authorities say the 2 people in the vehicle and the 1 person in the building were not injured. Following an examination by the Joplin building inspector, the building will remain closed. The 26th annual Old Iron Days gave kids a chance to see farm and domestic demonstrations. KOAM's Melissa Alexis takes us to Fredonia for the event.
We made some egg noodles and we've made some chicken and noodles. We're working on some apple pies right now.
Students who attend Old Iron Days get to see a glimpse into historic methods of farming and cooking.
This is a really good example as to what we used to have and what we used to do, and all these old machines and all of these old mechanics.
Open fire cooking demonstration. So in that demonstration, kids have an opportunity to actually cut the potatoes, stir the stew over the open fire, learn about the process of heat.
She says one of the goals of this experience is to teach students the value of cooperation and communication, and to help them learn skills they can use in the future.
We really believe in the value of hands-on learning. So there are things that make noise, things that they can taste, things that they can touch, machines that they can see running.
Whenever I grow up and have a family, I can't wait to stay home, make noodles with my kids, and do all these things, and just be a really good mom for maybe a homestead or going to work and coming home and having these quick and easy things to do.
Old Iron Days will have demonstrations of candle making, broom making, open fire cooking, and more. Reporting in Fredonia, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, Old Iron Days will run through this Saturday in Fredonia. And that's a look at our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, the arraignment of New York City Mayor Eric Adams is scheduled for later today. We'll have those details coming up. And later, a young Utah girl gives back to her community by designing a playground. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from McCune, Kansas, ahead of their fall festival this weekend. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Vice President Kamala Harris vowed to gut the Senate's filibuster rule in order to pass a bill codifying abortion rights. And that decision has cost her an endorsement from a leading Senate moderate. Now, Tuesday, West Virginia Independent Joe Manchin said that he will not back Harris for president over the issue. Now, Manchin calls the filibuster the holy grail of democracy and said the delayed tactic is the only thing that keeps the Senate talking and working together. Violent crime declined 3% across the U.S. from 2022 to 2023. Now, the new data from the FBI shows a dramatic drop in the number of murders, down nearly 12%. Now, the agency says that represents the largest drop in decades. Crime rates have become one of the country's biggest political issues of the 2024 presidential election. GOP candidate Donald Trump has claimed it is on the rise as he portrays opponent Kamala Harris as weak on crime. Well, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is scheduled to be arraigned on federal corruption charges later today. Adams says he has done nothing wrong and has no plans to resign, but several Democratic colleagues are calling on him to step aside following a federal indictment. Fox News correspondent CB Cotton has the details from New York.
Resign! 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 growing calls for New York City Democratic Mayor Eric Adams to step down. Prosecutors say Adams abused his power in a nearly decade-long criminal scheme. Adams says he didn't do it.
Follow the rules, I follow the law.
But many laws were broken. According to the indictment, more than 50 pages long, with prosecutors laying out a history of corruption that they say started when Adams was serving as Brooklyn Borough president and continued through Adams' 2021 mayoral campaign. Prosecutors say Adams took bribes, sought out illegal campaign contributions, and accepted free flights, dinners at high-end restaurants, and upgrades at luxury hotels from wealthy foreign nationals, including at least one Turkish government official.
This was a multi-year scheme to buy favor with a single New York City politician on the rise, Eric Adams.
But that Turkish official wanted the bribes repaid, according to the indictment, telling an Adams staffer that it was Adams' quote, turn to support Turkey. The staffer responded, quote, I know. Prosecutors say Adams complied and pressured the fire department to approve the opening of a new high-rise consulate for Turkey in Midtown Manhattan. The indictment comes amid at least 3 other ongoing and separate federal investigations linked to people in Adams' administration, leading to a slew of resignations in recent weeks. Adams says he's staying on. Prosecutors also say Adams defrauded New York City through illegal campaign donations, which they say helped him qualify for more than $10 million in matching public campaign funds. In New York, CB Cotton, Fox News.
Now here's Lindsay with a look at the forecast.
We are tracking Hurricane Helene as it wreaks havoc across the eastern states, but starting to move into our area. Mostly cloudy skies, maybe a little drizzle or two later in the afternoon, but we're mostly dealing with overcast conditions for most of the weekend. Now we'll be right back. Well, taking a look downtown Pittsburgh, mostly cloudy skies starting to push into Pittsburgh and into the rest of the 4 states region. And we can thank Hurricane Helene for that as it wreaks havoc across the eastern states, though it is going to start to make that shift off to our area, although it really doesn't even have to. We're already getting parts of the edge of that storm. Now, we're not going to get any rain, but we are seeing those clouds pushing into most of the 4 states region. Most of the rain is just east of Springfield, so Springfield may not even get much of the rain either. Now, currently outside, temperatures in the mid-50s. We're starting to see those clouds pushing in, covering most of our skies. Now, breeze is light out of the north, 5-10 miles per hour, but they start to increase as we get into the later afternoon and evening hours. Winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. Temperatures getting into the upper 70s. And again, mostly cloudy skies, completely overcast by later on this evening. Now, we've gotten a lot of rain this past weekend. Unfortunately, it didn't really do much for us. Our drought tracker still shows a severe drought for most of our counties in the southern counties and in southwestern Missouri. Now, the only counties that are not in a drought is going to be our northern counties in Kansas, and still dry conditions. Unfortunately, we've got really no rain chances for the next week and a half, though we are going to start to see all of the clouds pushing in. You might get a drizzle or two in the far eastern counties later on this afternoon, but for the most part, we're going to remain dry. Temperatures getting into the upper 70s, even low 80s the far west out you go. And other than that, those cloudy skies continue all evening tonight and through most of the day tomorrow as well. Another thing that continues are the strong wind gusts just ahead of that storm. So starting this morning, winds in the eastern counties gusting up to about 30 miles per hour. And as we get into later in the day, all starts to increase 35 to 40 miles per hour by this evening. And the further west you go, the lighter the winds are. However, that changes as we get into the overnight hours tonight and through tomorrow. Winds gusting 20 to 25, even 30 miles per hour through most of the day on Saturday. Another thing is we start to warm up tomorrow. So temperatures today about 77, 78 in the Joplin area, but tomorrow we're getting into about 80 degrees, low 80s for nearly all of our counties. And it's still going to be mostly cloudy. Clouds start to break by about 11 p.m. tomorrow. So most of the day is going to be overcast conditions, and we continue to warm up after that. Monday, we're going to be in the mid to upper 80s, but then we do have a wind shift line Monday night into Tuesday, so temperatures are going to drop just slightly down on Tuesday. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long. Wednesday and Thursday getting into the upper 80s, low 90s. Now, Thursday, high of 92 might be breaking some records because on average we're about 77, 78 degrees. So this Thursday temperature is going to be 15 to 20 degrees warmer than it should be. We're going to keep an eye on that. We might break some records on that. But outside of that, mostly sunny skies for the rest of the week. And we'll be right back. Well, a 12-year-old in Clearfield City, Utah taps into her creativity to design a new playground for her community.
Now, Fox's Maithili Gooby reports.
To see her excitement today, that was awesome. That gets at my heart a little bit.
This is no ordinary playground.
This has been a fun process, and I kind of hate to see it end.
I'm Fox 13 News reporter Maithili Gooby here in Clearfield City, where one young resident's vision has come to life, and it's something her whole community can enjoy.
You want to come here? It's even better than I imagined, and it's so beautiful.
Rosalie Olson is 12 years old. See this new playground in Clearfield? Well, it all started with her sketches when she drew the playground she wanted to play with her little sisters on.
Because I love them, and we're all 4 years apart, and they're both unique and different, and I wanted them to have fun in a park.
Rosalie's mom took her to City Hall with her drawings.
I'm the fortunate one who got the chance to talk to her, and we sat down with her and went through every one of those drawings. There are labels. She has details of what everything is, what it's supposed to do. And she put a ton of time into that and a lot of thought.
I met Rosalie in February, and she showed me her designs. The city developed concepts with their playground equipment vendor, and Rosalie has been involved every step of the way.
Every day that I would have to go there for another meeting, I would tell my friends, I'd be like, I gotta go again, woohoo!
On Tuesday, the playground was officially open. This was Bicentennial Park before. Rosalie's family watched as the city installed the playground.
I really thought that it was similar to what Rosalie thought was, they would say thank you so much for your efforts, things like that, and just kind of, really my purpose was to show her kind of how it worked and wanted her to really understand the full process of it, and so for it to go this far was really awesome.
And now there's a park for kids of all ages to enjoy, something families tell me they're thrilled about.
So nice to be able to come to one park and everybody be entertained.
From her pages to the park, Rosalie made her dreams come true.
It's amazing. It's so fun.
Some serious bragging rights there on the playground.
Yeah, to just be a 12-year-old one day and you draw on a picture of what you want to play on, and then all of a sudden you get to be a part of building that. That's
cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that's super
absolutely.
awesome.
Maybe she has a future ahead of her in designing.
In design?
Yeah.
What is that?
Architecture.
Architecture.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, there you go.
She'd be good at that.
Be cool to see. Awesome.
Definitely.
Well, coming up, elementary students in McDonald County learn the importance of agriculture.
Plus, we'll be tracking Hurricane Helene as it moves closer to our area and what that means for us. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. I'm Elise Noe. Well, people interested in starting a business got some hands-on training in Miami yesterday. Now, the Oklahoma Small Business Development Center hosted a special business startup training event. The event provided a back-to-basics approach to starting a business, covering such things as legalities, tax basics, best management practices, and more. The event also offered encouragement to grow local businesses.
So there's a lot of great stuff that my organization, that we see Miami, that right now we're working really closely with NEO, like with President Stafford and stuff. But we look at this town of Miami where there's so many different possibilities that for new businesses to come and really grow.
Oklahoma Small Business Development Center advisors were on hand to help. Well, Carthage has a new trick for some old and young dogs in the community. Yesterday, the city celebrated the opening of the Carthage Dog Park at Municipal Park by the new playground. The four-legged and two-legged dog lovers hit the ceremony yesterday to celebrate the city's newest additions.
Really just started looking at some of our use tax funds and the projects that we could do to just make the community better. We knew that it was a really high priority for the community based on a master study that we had done several years ago, and so we just wanted to bring that to the citizens.
Now, the dog park membership is $20 per household per year. As a special grand opening offer, anyone who signs up this year will not have to pay again until January 2026. All dogs must be up to date on their shots and must be spayed or neutered. Now let's check in with Lindsay for a look at the forecast.
All right, so this Friday we're tracking Hurricane Helene as it moves closer to the four-states region, though probably not going to expect any rainfall. So it won't be disruptive, but we are going to get those overcast conditions. You can already start to see all of the clouds moving into our counties. Mostly Missouri is completely covered in all of the clouds, and then it's starting to creep into Kansas and even Oklahoma. Now, again, not going to expect a lot of rainfall chances. Main bulk of rain is going to be just still east of Springfield, so Springfield may not even see any of those rain chances. Now, currently looking pretty good out there. Temperatures in the mid-50s, and we've also got those clouds starting to push in. You can even still see, though, a little bit of the sunrise. Now, winds are light, but they do start to pick up later on this evening. Temperatures are also going to warm up into the upper 70s. So we've got a pretty good day ahead of us, but mostly cloudy skies, and that continues all weekend long. Now, we may still see a little drizzle chance in the eastern counties later on today, but I'll have those details coming up.
All right, see you soon. Well, the seniors from McDonald County High School got busy educating the district's elementary school students about the importance of agriculture. KOAM's Lonnie Walton takes us from the classroom to the barnyard.
I believe having a good, firm, concrete education about it at a young age is a good way to be introduced into it.
High school senior Rut Keaton is the student president of McDonald County FFA. He dreams of being a farmer one day. That means taking younger students to the barnyard is right up his alley.
A lot of the kids here have never seen agriculture, never seen a cow, never seen a tractor, and I just love the reaction to it.
Senior Vivian Latham is returning an experience she once had as a freshman.
I was a freshman in high school. I stepped out of my comfort zone and started ag, and it was probably one of the best decisions I had ever had in my entire life.
Both Keaton and Latham say helping elementary students understand the importance of farming is an experience they won't forget.
To see the second graders for one last time is such an important part of my life.
They're learning hands-on in front of them, and they're just excited to be here. That's my favorite part.
Reporting in McDonald County, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM.
Administrators and teachers of McDonald County High School expressed their pride for the seniors during the event. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker joins us in the studio with his big three stories of the week. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from McCune, Kansas ahead of this weekend's McCune Fall Festival. Welcome back. We got Shannon Becker in the studio with these big three news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Good. How are you?
Great, thank you. Ready for
Fantastic.
fall.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week, live and local. What's happening where you live? Well, it seems like everybody else has one, so why not Neo show, right? The 7 Brew. I've actually never had a 7
Really?
Brew. I've gone to all these openings, but I've never had
Get
one.
yourself one, Shannon.
Maybe I will one of these days. Well, here it was. It was flying in. They make these prefab buildings in Northwest Arkansas, where the company is based.
Fascinating.
They have over 200 locations. Well, we stopped by there yesterday, and the day before, people had sent us a bunch of different clips of arriving. So it's really cool. It's right next to Walmart. Look, that guy was waving at us. Hey, look! He's like, get away from my fence. Our number 2 story, Joplin News First, KOAM News Now. It was in Golden City. You can see Cookie's Cafe right there on Main Street. A traffic stop from a Barton County deputy ended up having a bomb inside of the car. Still some charges I think were filed yesterday. We'll have more update hopefully today for you on KOAM News Now. This gentleman actually was from Golden City. I believe he claimed the bomb was made by someone in an adjoining county. So the story is still developing. He was taken into custody while we were there on the scene. It was a long ordeal, about 5 hours. Springfield Bomb Squad came and I guess they disarmed the bomb. But they gave me a chance to look at it. I've seen many of them, but this is really disturbing. It was very large.
Horrible.
Our number 1 story, a tragedy on South Main Street the other night. The Newton County coroner Dale Owen came and claimed the body of a female passenger on a motorcycle. A motorcycle traveling south on Main struck an SUV that was crossing in its path. There's still some more information about this, but that damaged that SUV.
Wow.
It's only obvious that someone was maybe going faster than the speed limit, because that is a lot of damage. So that story is still developing. The motorcycle operator, I believe, is still in critical condition. And then our bonus story of the week. Did you ever see Napoleon Dynamite?
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Because some people, some people your age haven't seen it. It's
I love it.
It's 20 years old. It's just wholesome, hilarious, good fun.
Get your tots.
Get your tots. Tina, eat your ham. That's right. So Napoleon Dynamite. John Heater is actually going to be at the Coleman Theater in Miami on the 10th of October, along with Pedro and Uncle Rico. They'll do kind of like a conversation thing. You can buy a VIP ticket.
Cool.
You can meet them in person if you want to ahead of time. And they'll show the movie. And if you haven't been to the Coleman, it's really amazing.
It's amazing
in there.
It's
so cool. So that's our bonus story of the week. You can check out all these stories on our website, KOAM News Now, and also streaming in our 24-hour streaming app, which is free. Yeah,
it is free.
I hope people don't think that you got to pay for that.
No, on your
free.
smart TV, on our website, and also our news and weather apps
on our
as
phone.
well.
That's what I do.
Super cool. Well, thanks so much for being with us this morning, Shannon. Happy to have you. Stick around. We're back with more right after this.
Well, taking a look downtown Pittsburgh, we can start to see all those clouds pushing in, mostly overcast conditions today. Now, starting the morning, you may still see a little bit of sunshine to get your day started, but it's not long-lived because we are tracking Hurricane Helene as it moves through. Dropped a few tornadoes, but right now looking pretty good. It is starting to shift off to the west now, and it's going to be pushing closer to our area. We can start to see those overcast conditions pushing in. Now made it through Pittsburgh and surrounding counties, but pushing in towards Chanute, Independence, Bartlesville a little bit later on this morning. Now, we also have winds as well. Currently, though, winds are pretty light out of the north. Temperatures starting in the mid to upper 50s, And then as those clouds increase, winds increase, gusting up to 35 miles per hour today. And then on top of that, temperatures are getting into the upper 70s. Now, we've gotten a lot of rainfall last weekend. Unfortunately, it was not enough to do anything for our drought conditions. So we're still in that severe drought, especially in southwestern Missouri and then along the Kansas-Oklahoma border as well. The only area that benefit from the rain was for our northern counties in Kansas. Says dry, which doesn't mean we're in a drought, but it does mean those conditions are dry and likely to be returned to drought conditions the longer we go without rain, which is unfortunately going to be a while, at least for the next week and a half. But we are tracking the clouds that are pushing in, and we may see a little drizzle in our counties in Missouri, our far eastern counties, though most of this is not going to touch the surface. The heavier amount of rain, the darker green that's going to be just east of Springfield. Springfield may not even see any rain, but this is going to be this afternoon, so you might still see a little drizzle there in the eastern counties. Temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s, but those overcast skies continue through most of the day, Friday and through Saturday as well. Not to mention winds are going to be picking up as well. As we get into the later morning hours, about 11 a.m., winds start to gust up to 30, 35 miles per hour. This continues to strengthen in the eastern counties through this evening, 35 to 40 miles per hour. And then as we get further out to the west, winds do start to die down. But later on into the overnight hours and into Saturday, winds pick up again for all of our counties. Another thing that changes tomorrow, temperatures do start to warm up as well. So all of our counties are going to be in the mid to lower 80s across the region. That starts our warming trend for the weekend. Temperatures are going to continue to warm up through Monday, getting into the mid to upper 80s, which is about 10 degrees warmer than it should be this time of year. Now we do have a wind shift line coming in Monday night and into Tuesday, so temperatures drop slightly Tuesday down to the upper 70s again, but we warm right back up Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday getting up to 92 degrees, which is about 15 to 20 degrees warmer than it should be this time of year. So we might beat some records. But outside of the warmer temperatures, it's going to be sunny skies all week long. Now let's go check in with Consumer Watch with Elise.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, a potential dock worker strike could hamper future vehicle repairs. Now, some car dealers say they may end up short on parts inventory in the International Longshoremen Association goes on strike without a new contract by October 1st. Now, dealers say a normal 3 to 6 month parts inventory could be blown through in a month with no resupply. A long strike could make customers wait 30 to 90 days to get repairs done. Well, Zillow's new feature shows potential climate risks for its listings. Now, the marketplace company announced its newest climate risk data feature built in partnership with First Street, a specialist in climate risk financial modeling. Now, this comes after data revealed that more than 80% of buyers consider climate risks before purchasing their new home. Now, climate data will start popping up on Zillow's website and iOS app this year, while Android users can expect to see the next feature early next year. Well, project managers work behind the scenes to make sure big jobs get done right. And now artificial intelligence has become standard throughout the industry, helping to streamline budgets and make deadlines. Fox's Eben Brown has more in this edition of our Fox on Tech series.
Just about every industry is changing as it adapts artificial intelligence, though some are picking up the new tech more quickly than the rest, especially professional project managers. These are the people making sure bridges get built, movies get made, and events go off without a hitch. Using AI in project management is now standard, with a new focus on logistics, aiming to streamline jobs.
Very quickly, we saw also AI become the #1 topic at all our conferences. Most of our content right now at this moment include at least a section about AI.
The Project Management Institute, representing more than 700,000 project managers, created 2 AI training courses teaching the next generation these new tools of the trade, and a ChatGPT-like assistant for automating lower-level work, ensuring the data they're passing on is both accurate and secure.
A lot of things are happening right now at the very beginning of this AI transformation, where people don't fully understand the consequences of having bad data or data that they don't own.
And those trends are only expected to accelerate as AI becomes more sophisticated, driving a complete transformation of how projects reach the finish line.
If we can equip them with the best tools and leverage AI the best we can, they would be even more effective at delivering all the things that we use every day.
There are about 38 million project professionals worldwide, but experts say that number will have to double over the coming decade to keep pace with industry growth. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, some see a puzzle as a relaxing activity for a rainy day, while others have been training for a world competition.
Leah Mishkin reports from London.
And they're off, with pieces going into place at an astonishing pace. Before you know it, there's a winner. 30-year-old Kristen Thov from Norway claimed the individual title, finishing a 500-piece puzzle in just over 37 minutes.
I've been doing puzzles all my life, but then during the pandemic, I heard of speed puzzling, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship, and I started practicing.
3,500 of the world's best puzzlers gathered in Spain for the 4-day World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship. Tiffany Medeiros traveled from Massachusetts.
It's a range of emotions. It depends on if you can hear people finishing before you, and sometimes that might bring you down. So I heard a lot of that yesterday. But today, we finished first.
This year's youngest competitor is 9-year-old Alma Bella from Spain.
I like puzzles because it's fun for me. I love them. I always like challenging myself.
As the organizer puts it, it's a way to step away from screens and rediscover our love for classic games.
Well, participants came from 68 different countries. Germany had the most competitors. Spain had the second largest representation.
And the USA followed with 116 people taking part in the event. Now, whenever it is next year, I think you should sign up.
I think I was telling Lindsay while the package was playing that I am a puzzle enthusiast, and I've finished some pretty big piece puzzles in a small amount of time. So maybe.
You said earlier the rainy day. That's me. Me and my grandma used to do puzzles like when we had to be stuck inside. So I'm not competitive at it, but I do love puzzles.
They're super, super fun.
Well, speaking of rainy days, we don't have one of those, but we do have a cloudy day thanks to Hurricane Helene as it pushes closer to us. Overcast conditions continue, at least for the next couple of days, taking a look even closer to our area. Those clouds are starting to push into now Kansas and Oklahoma. By about 10 a.m., all of us will be in overcast conditions, and then winds do start to pick up as well, especially in the eastern counties. Winds gusting up to 30-35 miles per hour throughout most of the day and into the evening. Temperatures do warm up as well into the upper 70s, low 80s. But outside of that, we're mostly just dealing with the overcast conditions. Unfortunately, rain showers will remain east of Springfield, so we don't see any of that. We'll be right back.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Well, Joplin police are investigating what happened during Wednesday night's fatal SUV motorcycle crash. According to the JPD, a north to westbound SUV collided with a southbound motorcycle. Now, a female passenger on the motorcycle died at the scene. The 40-year-old male driver was rushed to an area hospital with serious injuries. Authorities have not yet released the names. Authorities responded to reports of a car crashing into a building Thursday afternoon. Authorities say the 2 people in the vehicle and the 1 person in the building were not injured. Now, the building is to remain closed after an examination by the Joplin building inspector. And a Southeast Kansas school district will get electric school buses due to an EPA grant. Now, the buses for the Iola school district will be funded through a nearly $700,000 grant courtesy of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Now, Iola is one of nearly 100 schools districts in the 4-state area to be given this type of grant.
Well, because of Hurricane Helene, we were hoping to get a few showers, but mostly we're going to be cloudy today and tomorrow, overcast skies and windy today, winds gusting up to 30-35 miles per hour. That continues through Saturday as well, and then we go on a warming trend Saturday through Monday. Temperatures getting into the mid to upper 80s, cooling down a little bit on Tuesday before another warm up. Thursday getting up to low 90s, so we could see a record break for high temperatures, because average we should be in the upper 70s, so that's 15-20 degrees warmer than it should be, and I'm not happy about it.
And that's the month of October too.
That is true.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's October already.
I know, and it's gonna be 92.
92 degrees.
Unbelievable.
That is pretty brutal. I'm really upset about that.
I know.
I love the cooler temperatures. It's fantastic.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, some researchers studying fish and octopuses that cooperatively hunt have found that the latter in such groups seems keen to assert their dominance in an interesting way by punching the fish. Now, the newly published study led by scientists from the Max Planck Institute of Animal Behavior describes how octopuses can be found to collaborate with fish to hunt.
But octopuses were seen to punch the fish in what they said was a partner control mechanism. Footage from the research team shot in the Red Sea shows some of the octopus fisticuffs.
Interesting.
Did I say that right?
They're violent, I guess.
I've heard that, I feel like, about octopuses. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be right back here for more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.